And in 2012, the world shall end. And there will be fire in the sky. The fire in the sky will be supplied by the band Shadows Fall with their 7th studio album, coverkillernation. Welcome back. It is a tremendous day for metal. And it's time for us to talk about the aforementioned album. Now, Fire in the Sky by Shadows Fall is, as I mentioned, their 7th studio record, but also their first with Razor and Tie Records. Why is that significant? Because Razor and Tie Records is also the home of the Kids Bop Kids. Oh, Nelly. Maybe they'll turn metal because of this, I don't know. But Shadows Fall is arguably one of the hardest bands on that label right now. It's also being produced by Adam from Killswitch Engage. This is the first time that they've hooked up ever since the Somber Eyes in the Sky album, all the way long time ago. First release, officially. So, yeah, this is a long time coming. So, how would this actually craft this album? How would it sound? How would it be? And, of course, Shadows Fall has had a long and lauded history. They have produced some fantastic records. Their sound has shifted only in small little deviations, and it's time to examine where they've kind of gone. And this album is relentless. This album is furious. This album harkens back to days like The Art of Balance, only with a little bit more of the ferocious edge that their beginning material really incorporated, with, of course, the modern twist of, you know, what happens whenever about 14 or 15 years spaces you between your first and now your 7th release. So you have a lot of sonic experimentation, however, the sound itself is still the Shadows Fall standard. Now, some people may be kind of thrown off or thrown through a loop by Shadows Fall because they kind of have garnered a permanent tag in the metalcore lineup, and of course metalcore sometimes gets a really bad rap. However, this is one that borders more on the lines of thrash metal. In fact, some people have even classified Shadows Fall as really blurring that edge between you know, the metalcore sound and classic era Metallica, which is a fair justification because these guys definitely are the upper echelon of the quote-unquote metalcore tag. I could almost call it more along the lines of thrashcore if you really want to go there, and some people will, but this is an album that really is very, very well put together, very, very well done, and exceptionally well executed. The boys are certainly kicking it on all cylinders with this release, and that's something that a lot of Shadows Fall fans are certainly clamoring for, this being their first album in now 3 years since Retribution in 2009. So this is an album that really has to spur fans on to come on out and really support the band once again after a 3-year absence, and I believe that many fans who decide and opt to do so, which I recommend that they do, will be pleasantly surprised with the outcome, because it's an album that certainly showcases what Shadows Fall is all about, what makes Shadows Fall just a really, really fun band. Now, I mentioned the whole 2012 Apocalypse thing because that is the key point on the album. That's actually the lyrical theme that is centered around this album, and Fire in the Sky is a beautiful way to really introduce that idea, merely because whenever you think of the apocalypse, whenever you think of the end of days, everyone seems to think of this hellfire and brimstone approach where, you know, everything simultaneously explodes, things crash into us, Dick Clark dies, oh shit, that already happened, and then the whole world is just a fucking ridiculous mess. Well, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that if that's going to be what's going to happen, it's not going to happen that way. It's going to be a little bit different. It's almost going to be like tick, 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 boom. And you won't have to worry about fire in the sky because you'll already be dead. However, this is an interesting theme. This is a really cool idea that actually causes the music around it to have to really show that blind fury that is really one of Shadows Fall's trademarks. They're able to really channel this fury and present it along with their lyrics in a nice package that really fits the theme that's around it, and they're able to do so with that blend of harmonious vocals, you know, the clean vocals as well as the very rough, the very rugged vocals, and it's just once again another positive vocal performance, and songs like Blind Faith by Shadows Fall, which are longer tracks, remind me and harken me back to songs from like Of One Blood and stuff like that, like To Ashes. It's almost these are just the majestic tracks that I really enjoy, and what causes this band to continue to be one of my a band that I do definitely like to enjoy from time to time, because some of their material is just absolutely spellbinding. Very well done. The guitars on this album are definitely up to snuff. The soloing is beautiful. Everything's very well polished, very well done, and whenever you hear these guys, it's just one of those real symphonies of shredding, and you really just enjoy that a lot. So, all in all, I gotta say that this overall package is pretty damn good. I was honestly a little bit surprised. I thought that the move to Razor to Tie, and maybe with Time and Age, maybe Adam would even have kind of told them to do a couple of different things, or kind of guided them towards other things. But no, instead he guided them back to the furious particles of their inception, and it really became a very good experience, a very really good experience, I gotta say. So, bravo to Shadows Fall, bravo for this album. I have to give it a solid 8.25 out of 10. Really enjoyed this experience, and I definitely recommend, Nation, that you give this band a shot if you've always been kind of leery because of their metalcore tag. And I think you should also pick up this album because it has a lot of just a lot of things that a metalhead in the 21st century really needs in order to get by. It might not necessarily be the most amazing technical, masterpiece that so many people are clamoring for. It might not be a gent fest. It may not be super mushuga or anything like that. Nor might it be a prog rock opus. But it is it is a nice little blend of a hybrid thrash and a hybrid metalcore that just absolutely blends together very nicely. This is the side of metalcore that can be really, really fun to listen to, and just really, really enjoyable. And Fire in the Sky by Shadows Fall is a perfect exhibition of that. So guys, I recommend you guys check this out, and I will talk to you guys next time. Cover Killer Nation, I'm out.